Welcome back to normal baseball. JT Realmuto hit for the cycle last night. The bench is cleared in that same game, and Shohei Ohtani might be bat flipping now. Like I said, welcome back to normal baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And new week of baseball, and it's already been pretty exciting. Not too many games on Monday, but that's how it normally goes.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk about it.
We are here to chat.
So, why don't we start with probably the biggest thing. JT Realmuto hits for the cycle. Claps up for JT Realmuto. Hitting for the cycle. That is absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to JT. 4 for 4, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and a walk. That's a pretty successful night.
Yeah, five plate appearances and hit for the cycle. That's pretty cool.
Pretty good. In his first at-bat, he hit a solo homer. His second at-bat, he had a 2-run triple. His third at-bat, he hit a single. His fourth at-bat, he walked. And then his fifth at-bat in the 9th inning, to lead off the 9th, he hit a double to complete the cycle. Really, really cool. JT Realmuto. Honestly, one of the last guys I probably would have guessed to hit for the cycle this season.
Agreed.
If you asked me before the season, I don't think I would have guessed that JT Realmuto would have been one of those guys.
I actually would have guessed his teammate first, Trey Turner.
Yeah, it's just, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good for JT. It was an impressive cycle. However, that wasn't even the most notable thing that happened in this game.
Well, I wasn't done talking about JT, but
okay. I was just...
Get to the drama a little bit after.
Yeah, go for it. Whatever you want to say.
Well, he was the first catcher to hit for the cycle since 2011, which it makes it, again,
pretty cool.
Pretty cool. First Philly to hit for the cycle since 2004.
Pretty cool.
It was the first cycle of his career.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. And he's only the 17th catcher of all time to hit for the cycle. So it's cycles are pretty rare, but they're even more rare from catchers. And JT Realmuto kind of did not the impossible, but he did it all last night. Yeah. So yes, congratulations JT Realmuto. Clap up one time. And like you said, this might have not been the most notable thing that happened in this game. Would you care to explain?
Yeah. So I believe it was the first inning or second inning, Corbin Carroll came up to the plate, got hit by a pitch. Then his next at-bat, he got hit by another pitch. And immediately, what's his name? I almost called him Torey Lovullo. That's not his name, right?
Torey Lovullo.
Torey Lovullo came out, was extremely pissed off. I could not blame you. You're having one of your best seasons in recent memory, and your franchise player, your cornerstone, the guy who has arguably been the MVP of the National League, gets plunked on back-to-back plate appearances. Bad look, and it wound with the benches clearing, warnings being issued, and then Corbin Carroll did not get hit for the rest of the game. What did you make of it? Because I didn't understand why Torey Lovullo got so mad.
I think more of what it was not necessarily, you're hitting my guy on purpose. It was more of I'm sticking up for my player because I'm a manager and that's what I have to do. After the game, Lovullo said that he knows it wasn't on purpose, but it's his job to stick up for his players. So he was sticking up for Corbin Carroll, which I think is completely fair.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree with
whatsoever.
You. That stance does work. However, I do think that he definitely could have been more calm about it. Definitely saying, instead of yelling and screaming and getting, I think he really, pushed the needle in terms of how, both teams were feeling at the time. I think he definitely could have said to the umpire behind home plate, hey, could you think about a warning? They just plunked my star guy twice in a row. Kind of not really fair type of thing. I think there was a different way to go about it, but I understand the whole sticking up for his players.
Well, I agree. I think he wanted a warning to be called because Realmuto hit twice in 2 at-bats. I mean, not Realmuto. Carroll hit twice in 2 at-bats. And like you said, he's been absolutely incredible, borderline, MVP of the National League so far. So when that guy's getting hit twice in 2 at-bats to open the series, I wouldn't say that it justifies a warning being put out, but I can completely see why Lovullo came out and was like, this guy was just hit twice in 2 at-bats. He's been crazy. He's been crazy good, especially as of late. He was last week. He was the best player in baseball. Let's maybe a warning is what you need. Because yes, maybe it's kind of evident that it's not on purpose, but if this guy gets hit in the wrong spot, we could lose him for a long time. And considering he's been, the Rookie of the Year, borderline MVP, we cannot be losing him. Mm-hmm. So we have to issue warnings to just make them scared to throw it anywhere even near him. Because it's ridiculous. You don't want your star player to get hit twice in the game. And they were kind of some scary pitches. Like, they could have been injury pitches. So, I don't know. I think that's kind of all put together. Just the thought of losing him on a hit-by-pitch injury, he hated it.
Yeah. I could completely understand that perspective of it and why he got mad. Just, again, I think it was wrong to immediately push the needle and assume the worst.
So did you think it was an overreaction? Yes.
Yes. Definitely way too much of an overreaction. I think there was definitely a better, more professional, more classy way to go about it rather than just running out there and screaming and not really thinking too much. I definitely think if he could go back and do it again, he would have done it the right way. In my opinion, I consider to be the right way.
I don't think he would, because his post-game press conference, he did not go back on anything. He said,
he has to stick to his guns. He said.
But I don't think anything would have been different. That's our star player. And he definitely did not seem like he was saying it to say it. He said, it's my job. I'm the manager of this team. It's my job to stick up for my players. I'm going to stick up for them, especially when you're hitting them twice in one game.
Yeah. I get that side of it.
It certainly seemed to me like he was being genuine and saying that I am going to be sticking up for my players, especially when this D-backs team, not many people expected them to be 4 games in first place, 4 games up in first place in the NL West on June 13th.
Yeah.
So with how good they've been playing, I think just the thought of losing the best guy on their team is really concerning and just not something they want. So I think Lovullo just was sick of it. He was sick of it.
Yeah.
Especially after the week Corbin Carroll just had. Because Corbin Carroll was absolutely dominant. And like you said, I agree with what you said. He kind of has been the NL MVP this season.
Yeah.
And it kind of hasn't been close. He's done everything. He hits homers. He's hits for average. He's batting almost 300, if not 300 at this point.
He is batting, I believe, 313.
313? Can we verify that?
I am double checking right now.
313 would be crazy. I didn't think it was that high.
Yeah, 313.
Wow.
With a 986 OPS, a 168 OPS plus. Kid's a stud. And genuinely, I think there is a conversation to be had between him and Ronald Acuna Jr. Of the Atlanta Braves when it comes to the MVP conversation. However, Acuna has been more consistent, 100%, so I could understand why people want to give it to him. But Corbin Carroll, genuinely, without him in this lineup, without him contributing the way that he is contributing on this Diamondbacks team, I don't think that we would be talking about the Diamondbacks being in first place right now. And you're talking about a guy who adds the most value to the team. Right now in the National League, I believe it's Corbin Carroll.
I would happen to agree. I am a little scared early. I'm scared that we're going to have another 2017 Aaron Judge situation where Acuna might also deserve it, but Corbin Carroll might have the better numbers. But they might give it to Acuna because he's not a rookie. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they're not scared to give it to Corbin Carroll just because he's a rookie.
When was the last time a National League player won MVP and Rookie of the Year?
That I do not know. But it's probably been a while. Because Acuna is playing like an MVP right now. But I'd argue Corbin Carroll is too.
No one.
Never happened.
No. Only 2 players have done it.
Well, Ichiro's done it.
Ichiro back in 2001 and Boston Red Sox outfielder Fred Lynn in 1975.
Wow. So Corbin Carroll looking to do something that's only been done 2 other times in the history of baseball.
And never done in the National League.
Never done in the National League. Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. I mean, if he continues to play like this, he's certainly got an argument for it. It's definitely going to come down to him and Acuna if everything stays the same and the play still remains like it is right now. So it's going to come down to them two. I'm interested to see what happens there. Corbin Carroll, let's round of applause. But yes, like I was saying as well, the Diamondbacks are now 10. No, not 10. 4 games up on the Dodgers. 41 and 25. They have been incredible. They're almost 20 games above 500.
Now,
which is wild.
Statistically, the second best team in baseball behind the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. Yeah, they surpassed the Texas Rangers after they lost last night. No. Technically, they're still behind the Texas Rangers.
No, well, yeah, I guess.
They're one more loss than the Rangers.
Yeah,
but the Rangers...
Misread the number.
Rangers did lose last night on a pretty crazy game, if I'm being quite honest. The Rangers and the Angels, absolute dogfight last night. The Rangers took an early lead. I believe it was 5-1 at one point. Ezekiel Duran had a 3-run homer. They were hitting around. It seemed like the classic Texas Rangers 2023. We're going to score 10 runs against you, and you're not even going to have a chance to win the game. But the Angels turned it around pretty quick. Shohei Ohtani hit a home run and bat flipped.
Pimped the hell out of it.
At that point, you knew that this game was not over. Because if Shohei Ohtani's out here pimping home runs, you're in trouble.
Oh, totally.
And is Shohei Ohtani bat flipping now? Is that a thing now?
I hope so.
I don't think I've ever seen that from Shohei.
Okay, let's be real. Hypothetical, Angels go past the trade deadline and keep Shohei Ohtani because they think that there's a good chance they can make it into that wild card. And when you put that level of stardom between Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and honestly how Anthony Rendon has the possibility to play, the potential to play, how Brandon Drury can play, how Gio Urshela can play, like there's a good chance that we're talking about this team actually being in the playoff race. And if you're going to give me a wild card series where Shohei Ohtani hits a home run to like take the lead late in the game and is pimping the home run, I think that might have to be a photo that is engraved in my brain forever. Because Shohei Ohtani is already, I think we can confidently say, one of the best players in the last 50 years of baseball.
100. In the last 100 years
100 years of baseball, he's already up there with some of the greatest of all time. And if he's going to be cocky about it, let him be cocky when he hits a home run 459 feet off of you to a place that no left fielder in the history, the now 2-year history of your brand new ballpark has gone to as a left-handed hitter. Let him do it. Shohei Ohtani bat flipping might be, I think, my new favorite thing in baseball right now.
Yeah, no, that's 100% fair. Not only that, but it was a bat flip to tie the game at 5.
Yep.
And then in later in the game, in extra innings, he homered again. Mm-hmm. Didn't
Stud.
bat flip on the second homer.
Stud.
By the way, I agree. It's stud behavior, and I love the bat flips. Continue to do it. He's Shohei Ohtani. Homered again to take the American League lead from Aaron Judge in home runs with 20. So he now leads baseball. He leads the American League in home runs, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And not to mention, he's also hitting .291 with a .955 OPS. So he's having another one of those seasons where his bat is the thing that is going absolutely off the walls.
Yeah, but his pitching is still very good.
His pitching's good, but it as of late hasn't been as good.
Yeah, it's taken a little bit of a dip, but I still think we can say that it's one of the better arms in baseball.
I agree, but think about in 2021, his bat helped him win MVP the most.
Well, no, his bat won him that MVP.
Yeah, and
no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I disagree, but that's just me. I think 2021, if Shohei didn't pitch, Vladdy wins MVP, but that's just me. 2022, I'd argue his pitching more won him MVP.
He didn't win MVP.
You know what I mean. His pitching was the stronger suit out of the two.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I think his bat is going to be the stronger out of the two.
Which
overall, and if he continues this,
studies show,
if his numbers stay the same, and I think his hitting numbers are going to get even better, he'll win MVP again, and it's not even going to be close. It's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at past years in 2021, when his bat was the more powerful of the two sides, of Shohei Ohtani, then yes, we are talking about a guy who is, I think, very easily going to win another MVP this season, which, are we surprised if Shohei Ohtani wins another MVP? Absolutely not. Will we be happy if Shohei Ohtani wins another MVP? Because he is, I think, the best player in baseball right now? No. So, congratulations to Shohei Ohtani for being just the best player in baseball, honestly.
It'd be hard to argue at all that he's not the best player in baseball. As much as I'd love to try to argue it, I just don't see a route where you can. I don't see a possible way to argue that he's not. It sounds bizarre, but it's legitimately how. But I love these bat flips. It's the first sign of any bat flip we've ever seen from Shohei Ohtani, and I really hope he continues to do it because he's electric as is. But if he starts adding some flair to those homers, and on the mound, fucking...
He always screams and yells.
Nah. I want to see some glove flips.
Glove flips.
I want to see... Remember in 2020 when I think it was Brusdar Graterol threw his glove up in the air after he struck someone out?
Oh, yeah.
I want to see some of those from Shohei Ohtani. That's what I want to see.
Second inning, 1 out, strike someone out, and yuck his glove up in the air.
That's what I want to see. The Angels, by the way, actually are putting together a really good stretch of games. They're 37-31. They're 5.5 games out of first place. They're 1 game out of the wild card. And they're only 1 game worse than the Astros. So they've been really good as of late. And not to mention, they also just beat the Texas Rangers last night. And the Rangers, like we said, have been, one of the premier teams in baseball this season. One of the best. Highest run differential. They've been dominating teams. I don't see any reason why the Angels can't sneak into the wild card spot if they continue to play as good as they're playing right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. I mean, last year we were having the same conversation around this time when then the Angels went on to lose, I believe it was 20 games straight or something like that.
Well.
But I think that this year's team is a little bit different. This team has a little bit more firepower, and there doesn't seem to be any injuries, knock on wood, that could possibly derail this team. I think that this team is on a collision course with whoever the third wild card may be come towards the end of the season. I believe right now it would be... Right now it's Houston.
Yeah, they're one game worse.
1 game out.
Yep, 1 game worse than the Astros, so...
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Come on, Shohei. Come on, Trout. Go get into the playoffs. Because I think that the Angels remind me this year a lot of how the Phillies were last year, where we didn't really think too much of them, but if they get hot, and they get hot quick, you're talking about an unstoppable force.
I'd agree. And their pitching hasn't been horrible. Their starting pitching's kind of holding them down a lot. Their bullpen's been decently good. Their bullpen's 4th in ERA. 4th in ERA this season, their bullpen.
Yeah.
But their starters have been not great. Another thing, Mike Trout has not been Mike Trout this year.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he turns it around. Not to say he's been bad, but 255 batting average is very uncharacteristic of Mike Trout. We're used to him batting 300 every season, 299, all that. Only an 831 OPS too, which it sounds crazy that an 831 OPS is low, but that's very low for Mike Trout. He's never finished a season other than his rookie year, which he only played 40 games. He's never finished a season with an under 900 OPS.
Yeah.
I think there's no way he doesn't turn it around.
Yeah. Mike Trout is too good. His career OPS sitting at 994. I mean, the guy's a gamer. The guy's a ball player. I think that, yes, right now his strikeout numbers are getting a little bit too high and he is swinging and missing a little bit more. But if anyone's going to make the adjustment, it is going to be another one of the greatest players that we've ever seen play baseball in Mike Trout to make that adjustment and make that change.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's already been one of the greatest players we've ever seen. So, you don't just lose that, you know? So, Mike Trout. And I think if he does turn it around, it's going to be, they're going to get even better.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking ahead for the Angels, too, they have this series with the Rangers. And then this weekend they have the Royals, so that should be another couple of wins there. And then they have the Dodgers, which I think is going to be obviously LA is always a big series.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to make it even bigger if the Angels come into it hot as they are. Because the Dodgers have been a little slow recently. Yes, they're still 37-29. They're not bad. But they're 3-7 in their last 10. Yeah. So the Dodgers have slowed down a lot. And I think if the Angels stay hot and the Dodgers still stay, a little like lukewarm, not great, the Angels could surprise a lot of people and come into that series and dare I say sweep the Dodgers or just win the series, which I think would surprise a lot of people. But I think it's more than possible.
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see when it comes to that, but I do agree with you that it is more than possible.
But I think we can both agree that Shohei Ohtani bat flips are so much fun.
Agreed.
So much fun.
Shohei Ohtani bat flips are something that I hope is here to stay forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Forever, ever?
Ever, ever.
Do you have anything else? I mean, like we said, there weren't too many games on yesterday. We hit all the major points.
Well, we did miss one thing.
What do you got?
The hottest team in baseball. The Oakland Athletics are now...
Oh, yes.
Are on a 6-game win streak. We can now talk about them after they swept the...
Brewers.
Brew.
A's sweep the Brewers, 6-game win streak. It's. Don't let them get hot.
Don't let them get hot. And if you're watching this today on Tuesday morning, on the 13th of June, today you have to tune in to the Oakland Athletics game. There is a sold-out crowd in a reverse boycott.
Hopefully sold out.
I believe there's a fundraiser that went on last month, where they raised a good amount of money to give out over 7,000 shirts that say "sell the team" on them as people are walking into the ballpark.
That's awesome.
Reverse boycotting, especially with the fact that the Oakland Athletics have constantly been disapproved to move into Las Vegas by the Las Vegas government and the Nevada government, I should say. There's a good chance that the Oakland Athletics stay, which in that case I think the owner should definitely consider selling the team more than relocating. So let's see what goes on today, because I am going to be watching.
We'll see.
Nothing is stopping me from watching this game.
If I had to guess, it's going to be really cool that that we see the packed out house, but I don't think it's going to change anything.
On a win streak.
Yeah.
I think
it's a great time for it to have been happening, because it was planned to happen this day months ago.
I would think before the season even.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to change anything.
I agree with you, but I think it's a step in the right direction to getting something changed.
But I don't think
especially since the Nevada government is not approving the amount of spending that the Oakland Athletics want for a new stadium, when their owner could very easily pay.
We'll see, but I think their owner is dead set on moving to Vegas.
Yeah, but we'll have to just wait and see.
But I think it's going to be fun to see. Yeah, this is the game's at 9:40 Eastern, so 6:40 Pacific time.
I really hope it's like a playoff atmosphere back in Oakland.
I do
too.
One
last time. One last hoorah.
It's the perfect time for this to happen.
Yes.
Because they're winning, and it's been fun recently for them. They're playing the Rays. I saw, statistically, if they win out, they would be 112-50, best season in franchise history, and they'd probably make the playoffs. So don't let them get hot.
Don't let them get hot.
Don't let them get hot.
Don't look now. And adding a sweep on top of that is just amazing. Just all around.
Well, if they win out, they're going to sweep everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
They win out, they sweep everyone.
And then we're going to turn into an Oakland Athletics podcast.
Of course.
We're going to have to move out to Oakland, California.
Of course. Of course.
I love the idea of it.
All right. Well, let's go A's.
Let's go A's.
Have some fun tonight, A's fans.
Yes,
Come on.
please
Hopefully
do.
they pull out another win. I'd love to see a 7-game win streak from the A's.
Yep.
And yeah, that's all I got. Looking forward to today. Later today we got Yankees Mets, which I feel like is probably the biggest series this week, just because Subway Series. That's always, and it's two really good pitching matchups: Severino versus Scherzer tonight, Cole versus Verlander on Wednesday, which is going to be crazy. Toronto, Baltimore, going to be a good series. What else? What other good series we have? That's really it. I'm going to be watching the Diamondbacks too.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, going to be watching the Athletics and Diamondbacks tonight, me personally.
All right. Well, that's all we got. We thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button or the follow button if you're listening on Spotify. We appreciate you guys. If you liked, share with your friends. Leave a like, leave a comment on what you want us to talk about tomorrow or what you think about what we talked about today. And we will see you guys in the next one tomorrow. A peace.